they won all their games? Yes, it is first world problems. Get off the hate.
That's fair.
Dang.
Let's put up the numbers so everyone knows what we're talking about. The Eagles' offense this year, I mean, they completed 0 passes in the second half last week. They're allowing 330 yards a game. That's 22nd in the league. Their offense is sitting bottom 3 in yards per game, yards per play, passing yards per game, which is why people are questioning them. But then, as Jeff points out, not only are they 4-0, but they've won 20 of their last 21 games, including a Super Bowl. So let's dispense with all of that. I'm going to ask you a direct question, Lewis. Yeah. The way they're playing right now, the way they look right now, are they good enough to defend their Super Bowl championship?
No, only because, look, I think if they had to really go into like a single elimination game, right, and go up against a team like, let's just say, like the Rams in particular, who I think are playing well enough right now to make it to the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford's playing well enough to carry a team to the Super Bowl. I think they could run into some problems. Now, that being said, look, they're 4-0. I agree with Jeff. A lot of the issues that this football team has, I think, are going to work its way out as the season goes along. There's nothing wrong with Saquon. He has not hit a wall. He's not all of a sudden an aging back that they're stuck in a bad contract. There's nothing wrong with A.J. Brown's skill set. He will get it going as well. This is the thing. Jeff talked about, you talking about first world problems. Yeah. You're 4-0, and your team right now is kind of not like playing to its potential. There's nothing wrong with this football team, but I think this year, the field is going to really be catching up to them. They're going to be right on their heels at the end of the season.
Here's the thing. I don't know everything. I defer to your expertise, but I know that when my star wide receiver is posting Bible verses sort of cryptically, something's not exactly right.
To put this out there, Dickerson, I thought they lost him for the season in the preseason. He's playing banged up. Lane Johnson's playing banged up. So offensively, Becton left, right? So they're a different group up front. Now you have a new coordinator. Again, the third new coordinator. It all takes time to figure this thing out. The offensive line will get, but they have not done a great job. Even Mailata said it. He said, listen, we're missing blocks. We're not sticking to blocks, which limits Saquon's explosive plays. Not playing anybody and they're getting by. They're playing the best in getting by.
I don't want to get Peter mad because we downplayed the Giants win. They blocked 2 field goals to beat them. You know what I mean? Like, you can argue either side of this if you want to. They're 4-0. They've won 20 out of 21. I feel ridiculous pointing out their problems, but the problems are relatively evident to see. When you have 0 completions and -1 yard and a half of football, everything isn't exactly right.
It's the eye of the beholder, because here they are. They haven't even played a complete game yet. You look at it, their first half against the Rams was horrendous, but the second half was great. Their first half against the Buccaneers was tremendous. Second half was terrible, and yet they're 4-0. Have you heard of Mel Robbins? You know who that is?
Yeah, I do.
The let them theory?
Yeah.
That's kind of what they've got to just kind of lean into. Let everyone else talk about us. Let everyone else panic about us. Guys, we're 4-0, and to Jeff's point, we beat Tampa. We beat the Rams. We beat the Chiefs.
Can Mel Robbins get the ball to A.J. Brown? That's my only damn question. Can Mel design some sort of play action?
A team like the Rams will jump up and beat you.
Yeah.
A team like the Bucs, all these teams are going to trend the right way. They're going to be there in the end.
Absolutely.
They're going to be there in the end.
Absolutely.
No one's questioning whether they'll be there or not. I mean, look, Brian Windhorst has a great expression in the NBA. I think it applies. Winning a championship means never having to say you're sorry. Because they won the title last year, we give them the benefit of the doubt, right? That they'll get this thing figured out. If they didn't have that, we might be looking at the situation differently.
Of course, but I think Jeff was mad about the way that people are treating the Eagles, but they've created these expectations for us. Yeah. And I think that it's hard to have a conversation about an undefeated team having issues, but the numbers are the numbers. And we watch the games also. They do have some concerns.
I'm old enough to remember when wide receivers would get mad and they would throw tantrums on the sidelines. Now they have a different way of expressing their
I like the way he went about it.
It's sort of a little like that. In some ways, it's better. Chiefs are right back where they want to be, and others have said, hold on, the Ravens' defense is going to make a lot of people look healthier than they actually are. Where do we sit?
I'm on the side where the Ravens are going to make you look a lot better than you probably are. I mean, you think the Ravens in the run game are 31st in the league, passing game they're 25th. So did the Chiefs play exceptionally well? They did, right? They finally ran the ball. They finally did the things Worthy had explosive plays. Travis Kelce took a time machine back. He was lighting it up. Everybody was playing well. But my issue with the Chiefs is not always about – it's about the fundamental portion of it. They don't run the ball well. They average 67 yards a game with their running backs, which is almost dead last in the league. Explosive plays are still – you're not playing the Ravens. And here's my issue. I don't have a problem – I don't have an issue with the Chiefs going to the playoffs. The Chiefs want to win the Super Bowl. So if we're talking about them as a Super Bowl winning team, My issues are deeper than just can we go beat the Ravens. That's why I still have hesitation.
Yeah, look, I think that they are turning a corner. I think, look, number one, look at the pace that they played at yesterday. The speed component looks like it's back now. Okay, and when you have that, whether it be you're talking about go balls, whether you're talking about jet sweeps, those kinds of things that are stretching the field horizontally and vertically, it just starts to create more space.
Better. I just think that when we're talking about the game they just played, it's styles make fights. This is a perfect fight for the Chiefs. The Ravens can't generate pass rush. They can't stop the run. You can't stop them. That's an issue. So everything does look good and everything looks explosive and looks fast. It's when you start taking Worthy completely out of the game, or you get pressure on Mahomes by rushing 4 or rushing 3 and dropping 8. There's different things that teams can bring you. That's the only reason I say I have the hesitation, because of the opponent they just beat up on.
I think it's in the middle. Like the question of have they returned to championship caliber play, it's been 1 week. And I'm always going to be the voice of reason. Like 1 week doesn't mean a whole season. But the same reason we're talking about some of these other teams like the Ravens, what's happening with them? They have a lot of injuries. The fact that your best players aren't on the field, we can't ignore that also. So when you completely talk about the Chiefs, you can't also say like, well, they should be playing better, except they don't have their best guys.
It's also worth pointing out, no team in the NFL had a better weekend last weekend than they did. Not only they get the win, think about where we were a week ago.
We're crowning the Chargers.
And now, boom, Chargers lose a game. They suddenly don't look so invincible. Chiefs get this win. They play what shapes up to be a huge game Monday night against Jackson.
They play the Jaguars on Monday night.
It's funny how the players matter, huh? Who you have available really does matter.
Always.
Yeah.
Dudes.
To that point, Andy Reid didn't forget how to drop an offense, guys.
Right.
No
Like
way.
they're going to be okay.
They needed to tread water until Rashee Rice got there. Banking that win on Sunday is critical. If they get themselves just a 3-3 and they get him back, now they're probably off and run. We have significant breaking news from the NFL. Everything we had planned to do on the program has just jumped out the window. Kimberly Martin, would you please be so kind as to share the breaking news of the morning?
Yeah, Adam Schefter just reported that Dillon Gabriel will replace Joe Flacco for the Cleveland Browns. Dillon Gabriel will start against the Minnesota Vikings in London. This did not come as a surprise considering how this Cleveland Browns offense has looked of late. A lot of questions in Cleveland about their offense and Joe Flacco. Now we know, rookie quarterback up next.
Peter, here's what I think. I think they were listening to our pre-show meeting this morning. We had a lengthy discussion about when they should do this, whether they should do this, how they should do this. And now, an hour later, they have done this. Fill in the blanks for me.
The argument for going to Dillon Gabriel is he brings a little bit of spark.
It's the NFL. This is what you sign up for.
I mean, watching them play offense hurt your eyes, right? So, I mean, it's hard to imagine it getting much worse, but that's easy to say until it actually happens. Nick, first guess it. Do you like the decision?
Oh, yeah, I like the decision. I think that it's probably something that you feel in a locker room, and the boost that you're talking about is there. The athleticism is the big point through it. I think Peter touched on this earlier, but it raises the floor of your offense immediately if you have some ability to run. Like the pocket passer is almost obsolete in the NFL. The strict pocket passer, which Joe Flacco is, ability to move, run some zone read, do some other things to take pressure off the rest of the team, I think helps them a lot.
Yeah. Their tackles have struggled in Cleveland, and if you can't move and your tackles aren't doing a great job, you're going to get a lot of pressure. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to turn the ball over. All those things are coming to fruition.
Everybody's going to look at that bench and say, you got 2 rookies there. Why are you not going to them? But also, I covered that Jaxson Dart game, and I was in that Giants locker room, and I spoke to Brian Burns on the Friday before the game, and he's like, as a defense, we get, however he plays, we got to step up. We got to make sure that. So there is an effect, to your point about, Scatterboo doing his thing. But defensively, everybody picks it up. Everybody's looking around like, okay, we got to help out the rookie as well.
I mean, we saw this last year. Do you remember when Drake May went into the lineup for New England?
Yeah, they got
better. You saw it even in the preseason when he actually went in the game. It's a real thing. I think you'll see this happen.
How long will that juice, that spark last?
Well, let me remind everyone of a few different circumstances with the Browns. They have 2 first-round picks in the upcoming draft, which, generally speaking, looks to be quarterback rich. Now, a lot of the quarterbacks that we like in it have not played so well so far in September. We're going to get into that with Jordan Rodgers in a minute. But the point I'm making is it is incumbent upon the Browns to figure out if they have something in Dillon Gabriel and or if they have something in Shedeur Sanders by the end of this season, because they have an opportunity, we would think, next year to make an aggressive move for a quarterback if they want to.
That's the real answer to the test, right? Is do we have them in our building? If we have them in our building, let's go. But you got to give the guys an opportunity to know if you got them in the building.
It's hard to know whether you do or not. I mean, you could look at Baker Mayfield and say they drafted him number 1 overall and they had him in the building and they let him go. So we'll see.
The Browns. That is the problem with the Browns. That you see Baker go off elsewhere to multiple teams and still be the kind of quarterback who you think can win you a championship. Why didn't it work? With all the quarterbacks that Cleveland has had, why hasn't it worked?
And one thing, I don't know if we know the answer to this yet, but maybe we can find it out. Is Flacco the backup or is Shedeur the backup?
No, I would assume it's Flacco still.
I would too, but at the Shedeur Sanders part of this, Shedeur Sanders has been a major story.
This door will revolve. It's not like Dillon Gabriel.
Right.
I mean, he might be. Shedeur will get a chance if he just hangs in the pocket, and his opportunity will come if the Browns continue to struggle.
Well, it's also who is number 2 is relevant because, as the same thing we said about Jaxson Dart in New York, the fact that he was number 2 instead of Jameis Winston, these guys, you're one hit away from going into the game. So my question is, if that hit happens on Sunday in London, is it Shedeur or is it Flacco who comes in the game?
I would think right now it's Flacco, but I think for sure if you're Shedeur right now, here's your opportunity.
Yeah.
Here's your opportunity to get more ready.